Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Delco Cross Country Podcast. I'm shooting from the closet of my classroom. My name is Kevin Key, and I am breaking down a breaking news story that hit yesterday, January 14th, and that is a change of the state championship course. Moving from Hershey, Pennsylvania to Big Spring. This is kind of a huge change, and it comes with a lot of pros and cons. While heard there were whispers out there potentially changing the state course, over the past couple of years. There was one, according to the PIAA, that went through, and they went through all the process, turned it in by, I believe it was a January 7th deadline, and that was the course of Big Spring. So the biggest con for me with this course when it comes to Delaware County and Delco Cross Country in general is the location of Big Spring. It is located past Hershey. It's actually closer to Shippensburg, where outdoor state championships are held. It is a nice little drive for those in Delaware County. And I'll be honest, as a head coach at Bonner and Prendy, I used to get emails and I used to get letters from the Ben Blozier Bulldog Invitational, which was at Big Spring. And I would be like, there's no chance I'm taking this drive for a Ben Blozier Invitational. And now I'm looking at this, I'm like, that's the meet I probably want to go to. Like if I'm looking to go and race at state championships, and that's my goal as a head coach, that's my goal as a team. I'm definitely looking at the Ben Blozier Bulldog Invitational at this point, even though it's a much farther drive. From my house this morning, I did put in them into my Waze account. It was 108 miles from my area, which is in Marple Newtown School District. 108 miles from there, so I can only imagine the trip for other people. This is a course change that will be in effect for the next 4 years. I did hear, like I said, I heard whispers that there were some coaches who were looking to make some changes and try to map it out where it would be in four different locations within those 4 years, kind of evening it up for all parts of Pennsylvania, like throwing it out maybe at a Carlisle, at a Hershey, at a Lehigh, giving all of them an opportunity to host a state championship. Would have been cool to see the change over the 4 years and having different locations. It looks like the Big Spring won out big on this one. And it was funny because when I read this originally, I saw Spring and I was like, they're changing Spring state championships, but it's XC. I was so confused by how Miles would put it out there, but it was pretty funny. But what I saw as a huge pro of this is that there were different meets already that were held here that were big time meets. You had Division Two, I believe, championships already held at Big Spring. It might be Division Three. Um, Sorry, it was Division Three. I am on Mile Split. Turns out like it can host bigger meets. That's pretty cool, especially in addition to hosting an NCAA meet. Um, Pretty cool knowing that the location is big enough to host a lot of people. There are other pros in this, like spectators. It is very spectator friendly, apparently. A lot more spectator friendly than the Hershey course. I have not looked at it as much. I am watching a video, about halfway through a video of this course already, but I wanted to get this information out to you. Uh, it is a little tougher, apparently, uh, for athletes who are racing on this course. There's actually a big hill on that last mile. I believe they call it Kill Hill. That is apparently a very tough hill in the end of it. I mean, let's be honest, it's called Kill Hill, so it's got to be tough in some way, shape, or form just by the name of it. But we are officially moving things away from the Hershey, Pennsylvania course, and it looks like we're throwing it out there on a little bit more of a challenging course at Big Spring, which is where Ben Blozier Invitational is held. A lot of people may be super excited for this. A lot of people love that it is spectator friendly. Just by seeing comments on Mile Split, that's where I'm getting a lot of this information. You're going to be able to read a lot about this change when it comes to PIAA state championships being moved to Big Spring in 2026 for a 4 year period. Phil Grove does a great job on PA Mile Split, so if you want to check that out, please do so. I want to send this out there. I mean, a lot of pros and cons in general. Anytime there's a change, there are pros and cons. I'd like to see this through and see what happens. I'm only an assistant coach at this time when it comes to cross country, so this affects my travel more than anything else as a coach. The other thing is, I'm trying to figure out, since NCAA meets are held there, there has to be hotels and things like that to host people. Where Shippensburg, which is the outdoor venue, there's not a lot of hotel selections. That's why everybody is in a dorm room pretty much. Um, I'd like to see what happens when it comes to how people are going to be um, housing athletes, housing coaches at cross country state championships. Now that it is a little further of a drive than Hershey, that drive in the morning that I took this year to Hershey, that becomes a lot longer going out to Newville, Pennsylvania. So a lot of big changes. We will see what happens. We'll see what comes of it. This is huge breaking news in the month of January when it comes to cross country, and I wanted to get a little bit out there for you. I'm going to dive a little bit more into this information, talk to some Delaware County coaches to see what they think about the changes that are coming ahead. It's good to talk to you all. I will see you all soon. I will be at a few track meets this indoor season. Now that we're in January, I'll be able to free up my schedule. So I'll be looking out for all of you at some indoor meets coming up. Hope everyone has a great day. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe this podcast, and let me know what you think about the changes of PIAA Cross Country State Championships this upcoming year.